Welcome back to the Koori Knockout podcast for 2025. We're knocking off the first episode. We're in All-Stars camp here with the boys, joined again by Dino as always, and two of the All-Stars stars, double up on the stars there, Jackie Wighton and Brent Naden. Appreciate you coming in and joining us for the comeback to the Koori Knockout podcast.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having us. Real roomy.
Now for use roomies.
The roomies.
Yeah, right. We'll get a few.
I don't know how it's happened.
Who's the worst?
No, we're good roomies.
You know what?
He's good.
We're proper good roomies. Both clean. Have a
Really?
little yarn before bed. Roll over, go to sleep. Cracker.
It's funny that, they say two wrongs don't make a right, but it's worked in this place.
Maturity's finally hit, I think, brother. That's
30,
the thing.
30's finally hit.
They're like the veterans in the team now, these two, because there's so many young fellas here. And they're taking on that leadership role, and it's good to see.
I'll tell you what, you're coming a long way. I always think about that time when we were in All-Stars camp at the Gold Coast. You're a pup then.
Yeah, I always think back and as Dino just said now, I think I'm actually the oldest head in the room today, and I remember walking in as the youngest one all them years ago in the Gold Coast, and very, very scared and very shy, and always worrying about what people's opinions was and all that kind of thing. And I remember coming up to you and having a chat, and you held me in for the week there, I think. But to be here now, and it's probably 10 years later type thing, still very grateful and blessed to be a part of it, mate.
No sneaking out of camp now?
Never
old for
have,
that?
never will.
Never have.
Oh, what about this?
Got him.
Oh, there was this one camp. Laurie gave us a no drinking ban, and so we all went up to our floors, and we all went down to the basin. No names or nothing, just me and George. And then we got to the basin, and we just sneaked out of the car park, and we heard the big security guard. He looked around the corner, big Connie goes, "Hey!" And we started legging it. And then as we come around the corner, Georgie kicked his toe and he started rolling in the dirt on the cement. And I didn't even look back. I just kept motoring, and I was in the underground car park, hiding behind a pole. And then Georgie and Connie come walking past, basically holding hands because he was at the shits. And all I could hear was, "Stuff them bloody bastards, they left me for dead." And even the security guard was saying, he's sitting there laughing, Georgie, they don't like you.
They left me.
That was one of the best memories I've had.
That was good. But too old for that now, so we don't.
Yeah, no, that's mate, it's been a great camp. Straight into, a little bit of business. Boys are all trying to get involved in all the dancing and, taking part. We had a couple of good chats straight on the first night. As you said, I think we've got 10 debutants, so an awesome, perfect new experience for them, so it's good to hear some of their stories. As always, as a young kid, someone I look up to, Tai spoke like a real man as a young kid, and he opened everybody's eyes once again, so it's good to see kids like that thrive, and you can see how much it really means to him, and it tickles your heartstrings when you hear kids like that speak, so it's been a good start of the week.
That's mad. Now, you touched on the dancing there. I know there's a lot of new faces in the squad this year. Who's the number one dancer?
Oh, mate.
Pop.
Pop.
Yeah,
BK is freaky.
He's still hard to beat.
Them
eh?
North Coast boys, they can all dance. Like Tyrone Roberts was the original. He's the original gun dancer we had. And then BK comes in now, and he's
freaky.
Pop still got it. Little Jaden can move too, eh?
Yep.
He moves pretty easily. No, representing the Western states there.
The Western States.
No,
Western states.
Nato's representing us because I can't dance.
Jack hides at the back. He still hides at the
to bring
back.
my cousin in to do a little bit of damage because I'm no good.
Oh.
I'm at the back with the young fellas, giving them moral support by showing them I'm no good at it.
and obviously Georgie Rose was the best dancer back in the day. He's out of the big fellas. And Shaq's probably, for a big fella, he can move well,
he can
Shaq.
move.
Loose
Shaq
Shaq.
can
He
wheel
shakes
him
the
too,
leg
actually.
good,
Shaq,
Shaq.
Loose around the hips, Loose around the hips.
Oh, mate, he's been telling, if you want to get a yarn, that's who you need to go find in camp. He's been getting around telling Johnny's everywhere.
Now, this is the Knockout podcast. We love to talk about the Koori Knockout. We talk about it all year round, and we wanted to get you fellas on here and talk a little bit about your knockout experience. So, Nato, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the knockout over the years.
Yeah, so played, I think my first knockout was 2013 maybe. Yeah, 2013. And I can't remember much of the second game because we played him in the river and I got knocked out. But I think
Who got you?
Chrissy Sando picked me up and dumped me and whiplashed me back in the ground. So that was my welcome to the knockout. But yeah, love playing with wedge tails ever since. Just like going back and like we were talking about it last night. Could play it to a 50. I just get to play with my brother and my cousin. But yeah, as soon as they stop playing, I think I'd stop playing. But as long as the bodies are holding up, it'll be right.
What are your early memories of going to a knockout as a young kid? Who were the players that you watched and who were the players you looked up to? And Wellington's got a lot of great footballers that have come through out in Wellington over decades and generations. Who are the ones you looked up to?
The earliest memory I have of going to the knockouts when I was at Bathurst.
2011.
Yeah.
Geez, that makes us feel old, Georgie,
I
when they
know,
say the earliest memories.
Yeah, no, the earliest one I have was when I went to Bathurst and I think it was like belting down with rain. But the old fella I used to love watching, he's passed away now, the Force, Clinton Nelms. He could just tackle all day. Like, he wasn't the biggest person, but he's just tackle. But yeah, that's probably the earliest memory. And then other than that, I can't remember. I'm probably out picking too much.
Yeah. What about the Wellington footballers that have been like gun players? I know like the Blaine Stanleys was outstanding. Mick Peachy's before that. There's been a lot of good footballers over. What do you hear out Wellington about who the gun players are in there?
Yeah, probably like Mick Peachy. Everyone talks about the knockouts and talk about Mick Peachy. Everyone still talks about, I think they won it in 97.
But Nambucca.
Nambucca, yeah. There's like Nath Towney, Uncle Sean and Uncle Bill, Uncle Roy RC, like all those boys playing in that one. But yeah, every time everyone talks about a knockout with Wello, they always talk about Mick Peachy, so I think he's the king of the knockouts at Wello.
I remember playing Blaine Stanley as a kid, and how good I'd never seen a tricky footballer like him. And coming out of Wellington, had Clive Toomey out there with him as well.
Oh, big Clive, yeah.
Yeah, Trent Runciman was a gun footballer coming through, probably the best footballer for my age group in the state he was, and he played in that Wellington team up there. David Peachy played in that Wellington side up at Nambucca. I remember the side well. I think they had Damien Kennedy as well.
The one they won?
The one they won, yeah. Damien Kennedy was in that team, and it was a real gun Wellington side. They had a lot of good older players, the Peachies and Damien Kennedy and some of them old, but they had these good young players, like you said, Nathan Towney, Trent Runciman.
Shaws.
Yeah, some Shaws. Paulie Shaw, obviously. Paulie Shaw, everyone.
Yeah. And Uncle Ian Naden.
Ian Naden.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names when we go into it about Wellington, and that's what I think is probably one of the frustrations when we look at Wello, and you got Nanama out there as well, and you got the Cowboys. They're both strong sides, but Wellington probably would have won a lot more knockouts if they had one team out there represent that community, because the list of footballers that come from the place, like you got Blake Ferguson, Tony Staggs, yourself, Tyrone Peachy, like there's 4 names that we just rattle off straight away. Like, it must frustrate you sometimes when you go in there and you're not all in the same team together, because you're all that proud of being from that community, aren't you?
Yeah, like everyone from Wellington's proud to be from Wellington. And like you said, there's a lot of good players that come out of there. And it is frustrating at times. Like, you get, the town's only small, but you've got 2 knockout teams in there. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I'd like to see like maybe next year or the year after or soon, we could all come together and be one. And then if we go good, we keep going. But if they want to go their separate ways again, they go their separate ways again. But I'd like to see all of us come together and put one team in. You know, hopefully shake up WAC a bit, because
I reckon that's a bit easier said than done though, because even though you say it'd be great to see one team there, I reckon there's that much talent in Wellington that'd be hard to just, like you've just touched on the NRL blokes that are Wellington based at the moment. You look at then off the back of that, the blokes that are playing in Cup, the blokes that are playing across Group 11, the guys there's so much talent in that whole area. It'd be hard to pick one squad, because someone would be getting filthy getting that bench jersey. I know that.
That's what you got to manage, isn't it?
But I'm happy to put the boots on. I'll quit.
Well, brother, I'm hearing there's an appetite for it. You know, after Nanama did so well last year, and they know there's some players in your team that in that Cowboys side that are the heart and soul of the community. I watched the Cowboys play. He's had some great. He's went up against Walgett as well, so. I think there's a realisation there.
They scored the first try on us too. I was nervous.
I started to get a little bit nervous when we scored that first try. They had little Whack was in the corner, and little Heath Mason dived over and done me off. And I didn't
Well,
hear
Heath's
the
doing
Whack
that.
for like next 15 minutes until they scored.
Yeah.
He's
a
doing
long time.
outstanding stuff, little Heath, and he's
Yeah.
going to be a player. You look at the players there. We didn't
Nah,
mention Heath.
I told Heath, like, I'm big on going to play who, like, for where you come from and stuff. And Meso wanted to come play with me, and I was like, I'll let you come play Wello once, but you know, you got to go back and that's what the knockout's all about. What I see, what knockout's all about, going back and representing your family. So he's going back and going to go play for Campbelltown Ghosts this year. So I probably gave away too much there, but
Spill it all. This is the
breaking
place to
news.
spill it.
Spill it all.
We don't tell anyone here.
No, no, no.
no, but like just the big, I'm all for going to represent. Like that's what the knockout should be all for, not going out and playing for different people. But obviously you got that everyone comes from, got connections to everyone everywhere. Like we're just, me and Shaq Mitchell were just talking. We originate from Condo, and if Condo put a team in, then I'm happy to go represent Condo.
Oh,
for,
Condo Boomerangs.
Jeez,
if they come back, I'll go and have a year for
We'd
them.
have a fair crew too, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were yarning about this earlier, eh, Jack?
Is Jared playing up front row?
We'll butter him up for one game, I reckon. He'll be right.
I'll be lippy then for seeing one, Jared.
Before we go away from Wellington, now Nathan Townie's organised a team to go to Wellington in New Zealand to play, and
Yeah,
a
that
lot
was
of the
nice.
boys from the community, and it's about addressing health issues and men's mental health and stuff like that over. And then also they're going over to the Nines, the international now, the Wello Cowboys,
Wedgetails, brother.
or Wedgetail, sorry. The Cowboys are the local side, in the comp. But
Nah, yeah, that was good. Uncle Nathan, Uncle Roy, they organised to go over and play Wellington, New Zealand. The boys went over there, and it was an experience for the boys. Some of the boys have never been out of the country, never been out of Wello.
That's
so
cool,
Yeah.
to get over, and their first away trip was to go over to New Zealand. I think they loved it. I was speaking to a couple of the boys. They keep talking about it now, and then this year they're going over to the Nines, that Vegas Nines, and everyone's looking forward to that.
That'll be in a couple of weeks, eh?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, I think. So
it's only 12 days away. I'm not counting or anything like that. I love All Stars too, boys. I'm not counting. It's just 12 days. 12 days will be going over.
You're going to have to chaperone this fellow again, I think.
Yeah, well, George, last year, Jack, we enjoyed Las Vegas, didn't we?
It was mad, mate. It was good. I think we're barred for life. Come off the back of it, nearly got the wooden spoons.
South don't want it anymore.
No, we were all right. We'll just stay put in the old Oz at the moment.
yeah, it's good.
But it is. It's I know Nath what type of person he is. He's an exceptional young leader. He's gonna do bigger and better things going forward in the future, and his plans to go over there is just amazing to see. And I think there'll be a lot of teams start to follow that sort of lead, and it's about health outcomes for the community out there. He's a bloke that's really trying to make a difference, and I know you love taking part in all the stuff that he does.
Yeah, I love going off the back of Uncle Nath. I think it's a really great initiative what he's doing and trying to get all the younger boys and promote football and promote health to go out and play and represent. Like a lot of the boys didn't get to represent or make it onto NRL and represent Wellington, so they represent Wellington in a different way, going over and still representing their hometown, their families, but they get to do it over in Vegas. They get to go to New Zealand. I think they've got a few more trips and going to try and maybe take it over to like Fiji or somewhere. So just to try and...
That's mad.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
just the
Would
1 year.
we have ever thought back in our days when we were coming through, when we were struggling to even get to the knockout and pay for motels at the knockout and sleeping 4 of us in one room, that our teams would be able to send sides over there? And this is great initiative that Nath Townie and the Wellington community's doing, and commend them, and Roy and everyone that's helping out there. And I for one, like just as a football lover, I'd love to see one day when you get the one side up there.
Yeah, it'd be
and
nice.
all play together in the one team, these Wellington boys, because geez, you'd have a red hot side, and it'd be just good to see us all. What it would mean to you all. That's the thing that I'd love to see. Like just the community galvanised, the spirit that you'd sort of get all being in together and family being in.
Meant like even though we got knocked out by Whack first game, we're still watching Enema. Like we still support the boys. Like we were devastated when they lost. So just to get one team in and just to see, hopefully shake them up. And
We must be the most hated team in Wellington then at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's.
I think he's the most hated team in most communities, George. Let's be honest here. I don't think there's too many of them going around cheering us on when you put them out. So
No, like the
Yeah.
younger boys.
Yeah, about that.
The younger boys, because they got the mix with like Joel. Like they used to watch Joel Thompson.
Yeah.
A lot of the boys that I played with, when we played Whack round 1, they played against Benny Barber. So like
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't
cool.
they didn't care. They we lost, I was like, I tackled Benny Barber or I stepped Benny or, you know.
I'll tell you what, like one of the first podcasts we've done, and I seen Jolie Thompson here the other day, and he just, his performance, we haven't got a chance to really wrap through his performance at the knockout last year, winning there at Bathurst, and I thought he was outstanding. What was he like to play against out there, Joel? He just commands the field and
different beast,
doesn't let his side. Penny, you
bro.
played alongside Benny.
I play with him,
Benny and Jolie. I sort of mentioned them both in the same sort of breath. They're both outstanding leaders now in that whack side. What was it like to play alongside them, Jackie boy?
You know what I mean? Like even at training, Jolie, hey, even in warm ups, like for the knockout or at Raiders when I was with him for them years, you know, we'd always. He's the type of guy be running flat out trying to score training tries and get up and celebrate. He's just, I swear to God, like everyone's like, Jolie, settle down, mate. It's the captain's running that, but he's one of them guys just goes flat stick from the word go, and he plays his footy the same. And then someone that does that, it's pretty easy to follow. It's pretty inspiring, you know. And you know, he's not the prettiest looking player, but he can play football, the big fella. You know, he's awkward, tough, strong, and. Yeah, someone you jump on the back of, and yeah, as you said, Bathurst was mad.
He hits hard, eh? He throws his whole body in.
He throws it in.
So, brother, Central Coast knockout, there were the testing times. You had a tough draw up there. There was plenty of drama through the whole knockout for whack, and he's had to face a lot of different things. How did Jolie display his leadership in that week up there?
Yeah, that was mad. Him and same again, Benny. Like them two lads, mate. They thrived it. You know, every time, as you know, you come up on them second, third days and that, and. You tied you a few men down. I think we lost you, didn't we? Trenty, yeah.
Trenty. Bicep.
Little Benny, yeah. And
on knee.
just the same thing, mate. Like just goes in with the same energy. He starts day one and tells everyone to get on the front foot, and you know he's just a true leader, bro.
And then you got in lead, and then he'll have the little Trell Segbolt, follow that, and that's hard to beat. Little Trell on the back of that, bro. Gets him going forward, and then you get little Trell stepping around.
Jack, playing with Latrell, what was that like when you get the opportunity to play him? Did you know much about him going into the knockout, and what'd you take away from it at the end of the knockout?
I've always followed him from afar type thing, you know, and always got updates from all his family and that, and always talked to his family, and always knew he had that X factor and a little bit of something, you know. But then in the men's knockout, it was only a little frame, but he showed that real toughness. Game in, game out for the whole games was an eye opener for me, and then the skill on top of it again. Mate, it was good to play with him and that, and he was kind of one of them ones you look at straight away and go, "When's this kid going to be full-time NRL?" You know, if he keeps his head, you need a little bit of luck with injury and that, but apart from that, mate, you can see him being comfortable in an NRL position quite easily, I believe. And then he showed that with his calmness and some of the decisions he had to make. Like it's not easy, like.
He's trialling
At
this
the
week
back.
too, so it'd be good to see him trial in an NRL system. I think you kill it, bro. He's a freak. He's honestly a freak.
Yeah, and as two players, and George, you know this is, I think Latrell's one of the biggest ones we've seen come out of the knockout. Like he's earned this Dolphins opportunity that he got previously to his Broncos opportunity, all from his displays in the knockout. And I've no doubt that what he's getting at the Broncos now has probably come off he had a great season in the Queensland Cup, but also what he showed at the knockout as the dominant player out there at Bathurst this year. And it's great to see that they are taking notice now, these NRL clubs.
And I think it's a big credit to Nunny and Gadge too, his parents.
They're absolute legends, mate.
They've been so good with him. They've had him around footy the whole time. Like he's been around our knockout sides and around Gadget's, every team that Gadget's been involved with over the years. And he's been able to watch and learn from a lot of people along the way too. And I think it's helped him have a level head. And then even going into that knockout the other year, having them old fellas around. You talked about Jolie Thompson, you talked about Benny Barber, having that protection of older fellas around you who can take the tough stuff, who can stand up for you if something goes wrong. It makes a young little exciting little back like Latrell Segbolt have that comfort to be able to do what he wants on the footy field and know that he's got the support of everyone around him. In saying that, he didn't actually need anyone to step in and back him up either. He stood up for himself. He took hits, and I thought he had a really good knockout. The last 2 years, I think he's been amazing.
You can have the protection to make you feel more confident, but there's something else to make you chip, chase, grubber, catch, go for the air, intercept. That's got nothing to do with any of the other lads. That's inside Trelly, you know what I mean? So that's that's where, something special there, the big fella.
The thing that won me over at the knockout at Bathurst was his best moments came when Walgett were under the most threat and under the most pressure. He stood up and answered when the game was at its toughest point. Like, a lot of halfbacks can play when they're on the front foot and they're killing it.
Yeah.
But this kid, he stood up at the toughest times. And that's what won my respect for him as a player. I want to talk about centres. We've got two of the best centres that have played in the knockout here. Who's the toughest you come up to against? Because I remember that final against War, and you were up against Pop, and so you're marking Bryony. Was he marking Bryony Kelly?
BK was on the other side. I think I had Fergo.
Fergo's there as well.
Jesse
BK had
Ramian.
it.
Jesse
Ramian
Ramian
was inside Fergo. We had
Isaiah Tass was with you. 4 good centres there in the game, and Nado's.
Ferg would have been dribbling, no doubt, the whole game.
Fergie was, you got to
He's the
you
funniest.
got to love Fergo for being Fergo. He'd take a run, and even if he got smashed or not, he'd jumping up screaming at you, "Come on, come for more!" And you're like, "Shut up." But he just he loves it, mate.
Ferg, bro. I remember when I played
I still
him,
love to spend one day in the life of Fergie's head.
You
Just
can only
see
take
what's
one
going
day though, eh? You couldn't take any longer.
He's a good one, mate. He goes hard. But yeah, it was going into that game. That was my first knockout in the seniors, and I remember, I think it was a Sunday night. It was hot, and I told my missus I was going for a shower, and she come in the bathroom. And I was just sitting on the side of the bathtub, like not even in the shower. Shower was running. She said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Oh, I'm absolutely corked here." I said, "This is outrageous, you know." She's like, "You got 2 games tomorrow," and I was like, "Fuck, I'm not even thinking about that until tomorrow." Mate, like the style of footy and that, and then to get to that last game, we knew we just had to lift or we were going to be no chance because they were such a good team, you know. So it was an awesome feeling.
So you went up against Jesse.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, Jesse, mate. I've
He's
had
a tough
few,
competitor.
I've had a few clashes with Jesse over the years, and you know what you're going to get from Jess. You know if you're off, he's going to eat you alive. You know if you carry soft, he's going to tip you on the edge type thing. You know what I mean? So. Same thing, you just know you've got to be on your game and you've got to meet the battle up front, otherwise it's gone straight away. And also, he's skilled, mate. You know what I mean? You know, we're going to be on all game, so it was good.
Have you seen a better centre clash than the 4 centres that we just talked about there?
No, I
Brian
thought it
Kelly
was,
and Jesse Ramian on one side versus Jack White and Isaiah Tass on.
unbelievable. And I've got to give Brian Kelly a rap. I thought he carried that team through to where they got to. They had an all-star team. Like, don't get me wrong, star-studded team.
Then
But I
what
thought
was
Brian
whack?
Kelly was their best player.
Scrape together.
Underdogs.
They'll scrape together.
Hey?
team. They'll wax, wasn't it?
We
Scrape
scraped.
together. Scrape together. team.
Well, we got the
That's
winning
your
man.
That's your 5th crack you've had at a state.
He's taking a few away. We're definitely the most hated in Wellington. I'll make sure I put the foot down when I go through Wello on the way to Walgett now. I won't be stopping there. I usually pull in a KFC for a little snack.
I think you fired some revenge. You beat 2 Wellington sides. They're coming after you. They're coming.
We didn't mean it. We didn't mean it. I actually didn't think we'd win though, too.
Yeah, that was a hard pull.
It was a hard pull. And we've never won. When we won the knockout, we've never got through the first game. And then when you scored first, I thought, oh, shit, here it goes. It took us about 15 minutes to score.
Yeah, and then, like I said, little Trell just pointed the boys around the park and just, yeah.
They got a bit of a
Couldn't
roll.
compete with that, yeah.
Who's the best centre? Speaking of centres, who's the best centres you've come up against in the knockout? Country boys or NRL players? Who's been a tough competitor for you?
They chuck me in the middle, bro, so
I'm playing this weekend.
Yeah, I'm playing in the middle thing.
Well, you got the size there.
He's big.
About time, we probably say, hey, George.
He's a
about
big,
time
strong
you get in the
body.
middle.
No, who was?
Got a headlock in front rower.
Yeah, bro, brains like it too.
Here he goes.
Last year that whack side, that was
Pretty tough side
Pretty
to play.
tough, yeah. I was marking Jolie T, and I was pretty battered and bruised after running him a few times.
You know who had a mad, just on Jolie? Him and Clay Priest were going hammer and tong when we played, mate. They
Priesty.
honestly floored each other a few. Even I was sitting back because I was following up, just pushing. Some of the hits they were putting on each other, mate. I was cringing a little bit. And they just kept going. I thought one of them was going to knock themselves out. Either way, they were going that hard. That was a pretty cool battle, that game.
Clay Priest, he's a good player.
He goes hard.
He goes hard. He's
tough
a different breed when it
barrel
comes to
chested
knockout
bastard.
footy. Yeah, back to that question, but I couldn't answer
Sorry.
it.
Can't let no one.
Sorry.
I haven't really,
Sorry.
like I said, I play in the middle, so I'd have to say Jolie T. So up
Playing
against Jolie
Jolie.
T, he's still got it. Still got the pouch too. So I reckon that's where he gets most of his power from.
These are related, little king pouches.
I'd keep tucking it out because I'm worried it's going to be poking.
Show us a
out,
look.
bro.
You actually look good. Lift up the shirt there. Show
I'm
'em.
sitting down, bro. I've just had
Bad angle. Bad angle.
Bad angle. I need good lighting in that.
Jackie, on your knockout debut now, for a lot of years you were interested in playing. You never got the chance to actually go through and play. What was it like for you going from watching it over the years to experiencing it after 10 plus years in the NRL, then going and playing knockout footy? What was the first experience, the first game, first hit?
Yeah, well,
What'd you
as
notice?
you said, I went down to Canberra at 16, and then my whole life was career driven, and then at the end I've had surgeries and ups and downs, and like by the ends of the season, I just, you know what I mean, I felt like I couldn't even lift my arms, and so years went by, and when I finally got that chance, mate, I was very nervous, you know, going to a knockout, like just because there's tough buggers everywhere, and she's free for all, you know, so just that first run out and that was unreal. I remember walking up to you and the first thing you said to me, just make sure you don't just surrender and stick your head out or anything, cover your head all the way to the ground. And then one of the tackles, I got half through it, and I was like, oh, this is all right. And then this old fella just come across and just absolutely cleaned me up through my chin. And I actually had a little bit of a smile because of the conversation we had. I just got up and played the ball and had a little bit of smile. I was like, oh, shit, there it is. It was a nice feeling, mate. And then some of the other moments, like, there was a team, I forget who it was, and we were getting them in that, but they were on their 10-metre line, and there was about, I think their spine was about 3 or 4 lads, and I think they were 40 plus, you know, years old. They done a chip chase. All three of them had it in their heads. Chip chase off the cuff, under the pump, on their line as we're ramping up. They got it back, and I remember I was running back like, I half didn't want to tackle them because it was that nice to watch. Like the skill was mad, and we're just running up the field, and I was like, fuck, I still don't have the gurus to pull that off, you know what I mean? Like just on my 10-metre line. He's done it off the cuff without thinking when he's got big angry team flying off trying to kill him. That's so shit like that was pretty cool, mate. Like, and that happened all weekend as you sat around in your tent watching the other teams, mate. Every game had something exceptional happen.
Well, we managed to pull one off to change the grand final too. Benny Barber, the chip to Chris Woodbridge.
Yeah. They want to know my relation to Walgett. How was I born in Walgett, Nato reckons?
Why did I get brought into it? That was off camera.
He's been having a
That was off camera, bro. They asked me off camera.
Oh,
I
right,
was showing in front of the camera. You're trying to get my back now, eh? Trying to get my back now.
I tell you what, this Wellington versus Walgett war is just going to keep going here. Look,
I'm not interested in that
You know what?
conversation.
I'm not even going to drive through Wellington anymore. I'm going around through Mudgee through the Dubbo.
I hope Roy RC and Nathan Town here watching this because I think they're on the phone to each other right now.
They're saying, let's do it.
I'll
Let's
ring
bring it
Nato up
together.
next time I'm Ed and Gill to say, Pop, see if I get permission to drive through there.
Don't go
Road
through
spikes
Mudgee.
going
Go
on the
Mandurah,
road.
safer. So Jackie, well, I mean, you weren't going to be able to play for anyone else. Chloe would have absolutely flogged you.
I've been married in, you know, Georgie and Maddie, that's been looking after me since I've been a kid basically, and then my first cousin Chloe, they've got kids together now. Little Bubba's name's Jack too, isn't
Yeah,
he?
little Jack.
After me old grandfather.
After the pop, not after this
yeah,
one.
after grandfather, I was too rogue to get the name.
Careful there, George.
Yeah, nah.
George and Jack again, eh? Getting around the brothers.
Oh, gee. That is a wild combo.
It is.
So,
Casey, yeah.
and then it was one of them things, mate. Once I played the first time, and as you know, you kind of get attached. You go through all that hard work together, and like some of the boys and they're like family and that, you know what I mean? Like you're bashing each other, and when the next year comes around, they say you're going to play for. It's hard to kind of look elsewhere now. Unless NATO makes up the condo boomerangs or whatever we're going to do.
Well, again, why was it on me? I was just spinning the yarn because me and Shaq were talking about it.
So there it is, Shaq, Trell, Nato, Jack. This is a solid.
Willie T, we can bring him out.
Willie, Jesse,
Look at the
Tom.
arms
Who
on
else?
Well,
Burnsy?
Well, I know Jay
Burns,
Solomon.
maybe.
Jay Solomon brings it up that there's Granny White now.
Jack's will be team manager,
He's a
yeah.
manager. He's got the whole crew.
But Jace
connected.
talks proudly, and it's their Granny White, and it's one of is the grandmother of all these boys. They're all the same family. Willie T was talking about the other night.
Solid bloodline, eh?
Yeah, I think Braden Burns is in there. You got Percy Knight, and so there's a lot of. I think there's something like 13 NRL players come off this one grandmother He said, that woman there has produced 13 NRL players.
That's solid.
And it's like, geez, and it's all their family out there, and these will be interesting little side.
That's like the yarn about the Blairs through.
Oh, the Blairs, yeah. There's some families out there, but yeah, crazy. It's interesting to see as all if you ever did get back in the one side.
That would be pretty cool. I don't think Nate will be allowed in Willow then. He'll be taking a round route with us. Poor Nathan.
I'm his roomie. This is what I had to put up with. You want to say
Hey, we've
like,
been having some good night chats, mate.
What's like now? Obviously, Jackie, you're lucky, right? You come in and you won it in your first year of playing.
I don't think I understood how lucky,
Yeah.
After it, like just talking to heaps of people, some people have played 15 years without
Some
tagging
great
one
players.
in those.
Andrew Fafita had some great sides and was right up there for so many times.
Yeah, so
but
very, very blessed
never won it.
to fall into that position. And yeah, it was a hard draw just to make it even better, you know what I mean?
you
So
went
it
your
was
second year? You won your first.
First year in. So, Nato, for
one
you,
and done, he
what's
said.
the
No,
dream
not
like
too
to
bad.
win it? Is it a big dream for you to win this knockout? Because I know as an NRL
Yeah, I
player,
think about it all
was
the time.
Yeah, it's one thing I wanted to win.
I think about it all the time. I don't know if I'll be able to describe the feeling, being able to hold that trophy up with like your family around. That could be one thing to hold an NRL trophy up and holding this All-Stars trophy up, but to hold a knockout trophy with your family, like your own blood, that'd be pretty special. And I don't think I'd be able to describe the feeling, to be honest.
So that hunger's there and it's going to
Yeah.
keep driving you.
No, it's
'cause
there. Whack filled it up more last year, so it's there.
Everyone's going to be hating on us even more when these fellas go out and win this year. They'll all be hating us again. They won because of us.
But it's
Hey, so,
Yeah, that's a fire and fuel, eh?
fair.
But it is
Still wouldn't think
a
it,
thing
but-
that you look at, Georgie. I reckon I look at probably a couple of communities, and Wellington. I think they only won that once, and you listen to this history of great footballers and what rugby league means out there. Kempsey's the other community. There's not too many Kempsey wins in there. They're the two that I always sort of look and think there should have been more wins there amongst it, and it's just
That's very
it has to
true.
be community coming together. Has to be the issue out there, and sometimes it just takes that young, fresh blood, some calm heads to bring everyone together and try and win it. Because whether you're Walgett or whether you're the local team that's putting in a memorial side, everyone's dealing with crap, right? Yeah. Everyone deals with dramas with players wanting to pull out or not getting the position they want and all these sort of things. But you just got to have leaders that cope with it and get on with it. And I think Wellington's slowly getting there. I think what Naif's doing, what NATO as a leader amongst players, I think you got a big part to play in. And I think, it's something there for you to talk about.
Both teams, both have got the nucleus there. They've got great management. Nate Towney, you've got Roy, you've got great leaders. You've got Justin Toomey White and Tyron Peachy over at Nanama. You've got NATO and the boys there. There's a really good nucleus building for them to be there.
Football people there and great people. They're all
George,
great
you got
men.
goosebumps talking about this. Oh.
You know what the thing that we
excited
haven't
for these
talked
fellas.
about?
I don't want them to win. I'm getting excited for them.
The name we haven't mentioned was Katoni Staggs. And what about in that final?
He's a
He
freaky
fellas
dude.
just took I was in the commentary and I said, he must have just take a hit up. He's on there that much. He was standing on the field.
It would have been hard for him.
Did you just notice him, George, from the Walgett side?
Yeah, absolutely. And he had that same intensity about him. And, I think of the impact that Windsor Bowie has for us, that strong carry as a centre, the power that he brings to a game and can break it. That's what Katoni would have been doing as well if he was in the same position. He's such a strong, powerful player, but skillful as a beautiful player. So he would have had that same game-breaking mentality. If we had to come up against him,
Yeah, it would have been a different story.
It would have been a different story. You could see how determined he was because he was on the field the whole game and he was barking orders. He was trying to motivate his team. I really loved it. I loved the fact that he was out there and I was like, I hope the ref don't send him off here. It might have been frustrating for Walgett because he was out there and he was on there longer than he should have been. But you could see his passion, he got passion for that.
I was watching it on the live stream, but you could see you couldn't hear what he was saying, but Georgie said, you see his intensity in the message was getting across to the boys. Like he definitely wanted to be out there and taking those carries for the boys. So I reckon it would have hurt him inside a lot. But yeah, having him on there would have been a little bit different.
Any NRL club who doesn't understand what the knockout means to us, like you watch Katoni Staggs, you watch Katoni Staggs and what he was going through in that final. His brothers, the team that he helped sort of build up, right? And Roy's been Katani's been a central figure in that, and how proud he is of being from that community and the difference he wants to make. He lives a long way from home in Brisbane, so it's not easy.
No.
And you could see how much it meant for him. It probably hurts him. It'll stick with him for a long time, George? Katani will think about that knockout.
That could have been the one that got away.
The one that got away for him, yeah.
But in saying that, like you say, I think that energy that's building around Wellington, the talk that you've got about the desire for yourself and everybody else there to go all the way, I think there's something building towards them.
You just need one, bro, and you talk about that for a lifetime. Like like all the uncles, they still talk about 1997, and you know, how long ago was that? So to bring another one, a newer one to the thing, we'd still be talking about that with be talking about that with my kids, and but yeah, can't describe it. It would have been to win one.
Now, Nato, what is the vibe like in Wellington? Is this feeling just one that you and a few of the boys are feeling, or is it the whole town is behind that you feel that it's time?
Yeah, I haven't spoke to too many people back there, but I've spoke to like a few of the boys, and a few of the boys are keen to merge and connect. So I think once like a few, like you're saying, like myself and Peach and Justin Timmy White and that, and James Stanley, if we start to like a few of the player leaders, if they start to get the talk going, and I think the town will just follow. They just want a premiership. Like they're proud, a proud community. So I don't think they'll be upset by it too much. I think once we take a stand for it, then they'll follow. They just want a knockout win back to the community.
This is going to be interesting. It's going to be a good story. I'll tell you what, and I know like with George obviously at WAC, and you're talking about the rivalry, but this is what is the good thing about WAC winning it, is it's raising the bar on communities and say, forget your garbage little dramas that you all go through, forget your little jealousies and bitterness and that sort of stuff, and come together. Come together, pull your best side together and go up and challenge. Don't sit around whinging and complaining. Like I think it's time.
I can't remember who I was talking to last year, but even if we did keep two teams, you'd have the number one, and then like a lot of teams do now, and you're number two, but you use that number two side as your next generation.
Old fellas and young fellas.
Old fellas and young fellas, the next generation coming through. So when the boys in the one start to drop out and become old fellas, the jump from knockout footy, it's not going to be a lot of young boys' first games, sort of thing. Like they've already had a couple of years under in that two side, mix and matching with men. So when they jump up to that one side, they're not as nervous and not out of place. That's just an idea.
Your younger brother got a crack last year, young Gene.
Yeah, he loved it, mate. Reckons he's keen to get back to another crack. He said there was a couple of moments where he's got ragdolled around and that. I was burning that I couldn't be there, you know, like when I found out he's going to have a run and that. As a big brother, you just want to be there and make sure he's all right, you know. So hopefully I can play with a big fella and pull a jersey on next to him, you know. And you always want to be there to protect your little bro.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool to see.
So going forward, plans for a knockout in the future? You playing again? Back again?
Yeah, I'll be back.
You want to win it again?
Hey?
You want to win it again?
Oh, mate, 100%. Like that's what you go there for. But also, you go there, mate. The whole week's unreal. Like if after experience what I experienced, if I got knocked out first round, I've got to sit around the rest of the weekend and watch all the talent. I'll be a pretty happy person too, you know. And not just that, the vibe of the whole carnival was just amazing, mate. Hearing mums and aunties and dads screaming on the sideline. It's what truly footy's about, as proper passion. And so, either way it goes, winning wise, it doesn't matter. But I'll be back again, mate. As I was saying to Nato this morning, it's one of them things. Luckily, we'll be able to play until we're 50, you know. So. Always concentrated on my NRL career because obviously you've got to make a living for your family and kids, and that's who you put first, and then they're the same people you play for in the knockout, you know. So be able to do both, best of both worlds, and but I'll definitely be back, 100%.
For whack.
Huh?
For whack.
Well, you don't have to know this information.
Look forward to it. Who's the team you reckon to beat coming into Tamworth in 2025?
I know it's too early yet. See?
Just off last year's knockout.
A lot of wheeling and dealing goes on between here and
there. But is there any side that jumped out and impressed you on the way up?
Tur's undercover stars, like, thing was Tweed.
Tweed
Connection had a good little team there.
Yeah, they're building, aren't they? Building the side.
What's that? Jaden Campbell would probably be up me if I didn't shout out his Tinga.
Tinga, yeah. Coming good, Tinker again, eh? Building back up.
Well, it's nearly a home game for them. Tamworth.
Yeah,
I don't want to say these fellas over here, but so anyone but these fellas over here.
What about from out west?
Ooh.
I'm not saying.
I went from your roomies to these fellas over here.
Yeah, no, I can't be bothered saying
Started
their
real
names.
nice, eh?
I'm smothering in your sleep. Oh,
And out west, well,
War be up there again, or
yeah, they're always up there.
they're always going to be
That's
up
good
there
what
from
Benny
now
Gunn's
on, I
doing
reckon,
with
the way
that.
they
Yeah. Well, Benny Gunn-
building up?
things.
It's good he started that from scratch. Now he's, he only started that a couple of years ago. Now he's
I'm
competing
talking to
with the rest of
Tyrone
them.
Roberts and this thing camp, and he's keen.
It's
I
good
think they're
what he's done
determined.
got going on out there, but they do a lot of cultural work.
It's mad how it's,
Yeah.
seen that there.
They dance and stuff before. I think they get in there on the Wednesday or something, or the Thursday, because the girls play Friday. So they get all of them together. He got my little cousin Jace Baker out there last year, and he said it was the best year.
Ah, good little player, Jace too.
Yeah.
I coached him in the junior
Got a
rep
lot of
sides.
family in that side, but I think Georgia might cut me up if I went that way.
Oh, the look! I hope they
Hey,
got that.
what about your little brother there last year, little Grady?
Oh, bruh. Nah. You get him rolled at the next knockout. Georgie rang me up. He said, bruh. He goes, he was playing for War, and he's very happy to play for War and that. And what did he play under?
Yeah, under 15s or whatever. He's getting around in his shirt and that, loving it.
Bruh, and then the newspaper picture come out at the end of the boys winning it. And he was flying past in a wax shirt. I rang him up. I said, mate, you're getting yourself flogged doing that. I said, you can't be playing for one team and then come flying through in a wax. He goes, no, I was supporting my big brother. I said, all right then, make sure you tell other people that. Oh, it made me laugh though, yeah.
When Redfern played NAB in the final out at Dubbo, my old man was on the coaching staff for NAB. By the end of the game, he had a Redfern shirt on. He was on the coaching staff with NAB, and when we won in extra time, I looked around and here he is with a Redfern shirt on. So,
Everyone wins.
everyone goes. We're all back winners every way.
Oh, you know what? I reckon SAB will be up there this year.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're always solid. Like and they've got some freakish talent, some hard boys that can play unbelievable football. You know what I mean? So
So shout out to Joshy for the Fox and his SAB boys.
Yeah, the Foxy building something there amongst the boys. They're all training hard.
I see
that.
their
They're
little,
always training.
their little
Joshy
training
Knowles
sessions and
getting
that.
fit.
They're always on the ball and they always put their best foot forward for knockout. Joshy Knowles just had a fight overseas actually. Towed old mate
Fouled
up
him up,
too.
He's looking fit.
Yeah,
He
looks
found,
good.
he
He's gonna
found
be
a sport
dangerous.
where you can hit around there and not get sent off.
Mate, people cheer him on for
Yeah,
it.
people
No
cheer him
dramas
now,
whatsoever.
so,
Absolutely killed old mate too. So, good
But
on
he's
him
in
for
a
that.
good space, mate.
Yeah,
He
he's gonna
turned
be
himself
dangerous
around,
this year
Josh. You have
for
to give him
for
a little-
SAB. Gets fit. He's fit now with that fight.
Pretty cool what he done. And it's something like going over there on them training camps and just refreshing from life, mate.
Changed his life.
That must
Changed
be
his
an
life.
unreal experience in itself. You know what I mean? You're in a different country with different people, and as you said, you've seen the results, and I couldn't imagine what it done for the headspace too. But it wouldn't be a bad thing for other people to jump on the back of and have a look at doing. You know, I don't know what kind of prices and that it is, but it just looks like it's such an awesome experience.
You know what, though?
Hard camps.
It's a tribute to him. I talked to him a fair bit, Joshy, and he said about the mental space. Like physically, obviously, he looks great, right? But he said the mental thing is the best thing, brother. And I think it's a word out there for everyone. If you are struggling mentally, get active, go and do something about it. And you can be in a total different space in a short matter of time, feeling good about yourself, your life changing, and that's what he's done with
Definitely,
himself.
yeah.
And I've got to give him credit for that.
Tip me out
I hope
to
his
him, for sure.
I hope his story is a bit of an inspiration to other ones.
That's
that
what I was
don't have
saying.
to
It
be.
should be an inspiration because it's just living proof. It's getting out there and doing it.
Start your knockout training now, boys. Don't leave it to the last 3 weeks, eh? Start now.
Tyson Hodge.
Actually, yeah.
Hodgie, you're our best knockout trainer, so we need you, bro.
He's good.
Yeah, he's
I
the
love
best.
his videos.
4
I love
o'clock
his
every
videos.
morning, he's in the group chat. Where is that? What he is doing?
You're going hard, eh, Tyson?
I tell you what, one little sleeper that this little fella didn't want to bring up, Redfern All Blacks. What's happening with them this year?
They're training
Because
now already. Actually,
They're training very good. They're getting big numbers.
Sitting over here
Big
putting
numbers.
the heat on everybody else going under the radar.
Flying under the radar.
It's more about the local competition, the South A grade that they're training for now.
okay.
But I'll tell you what, brother, like I've never seen a group of young black fellas train as hard as what these boys are at the moment. They're turning up every week. Jeremy Gordon has been one of the leaders there. Outstanding, just the way he's leading the boys. He's one of the older fellas there. Obviously, Kirill Phillips and the leadership, Shane Nolan, the boys that Kieran Vale been around there for a while. But these young boys, I tell you what, they rip in and they train hard. And if they want to stick together in knockout sides,
something special.
They'll go there. They'll be well prepared. They'll train hard.
Hard to beat, I'm telling you now.
Yeah,
so they stick together. Yeah, look at him. He's
making us fight. And what have you been doing over here? Sitting there tight, twiddling his fingers, putting out the fires.
No, but I really
he's back. He's heavily involved in it too. That's why.
I really do feel that Wack was disrespectful.
I'm on their shit now.
I think you've got to fire up. I think you've got to fire up.
Well played, Dino.
I think he's got to
He's sitting
fire
on a
up.
gold mine over there, didn't say
No,
nothing.
it's between you two, communities and war. Anyone
now you do
that
mention
starts
my
with
team.
W,
Yeah.
any team that starts with W, I think is the teams that watch.
What about
for it.
Wedfern?
Nah, it's just for the local comp, the Redfern stuff. The boys are
Well
focused on that.
played, Dino.
No, it does look good. And I'm excited to see that because it feels like that vibe is back there where you had that dominant Redfern All Black side in the South Sydney comp for so long. Feels like that energy's back there and it's building towards something good this year. So
And the women's,
another one to watch.
mate, they've been incredible. The women's team, and they won it last year. And I think to be honest, they got a bigger challenge coming next year because Wack's going to be stronger, War's going to be stronger. There's a lot of NRLW players that they had missing, so you can imagine they're going to be better teams. Burke's growing, will continue to go. So that and Yowies have got missing a few of their NRLW stars. So you can imagine Tamworth's going to be big in the women's.
Good women's.
So
comp.
these Redfern side, they need to train hard. And they are. I have to give it to the girls. They're ripping in. So Redfern's training hard, and they'll come fit and prepared.
Yes, sir, here he goes. He's fired up now. Little toes twinkling there.
All right, I'm putting my boots back on.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
There you go, boys. Now
I'll wrap this up here, George.
We
Come
might
on.
wrap this up because he's given away too much straight off in the first episode. So thanks everyone for joining us for the Koori Knockout podcast. Thank you, Jackie and Brent, for joining us and sharing us all them insights on your teams and what you got coming up. So we're looking forward to this year and we wish you the best of luck in the All-Stars game. Anything we can expect from you in the All-Stars game, post-try celebration?
Jack's got a good shaker leg, so if you want to see it, you might show us.
I like it.
Well, 2 left feet and no river, mate, bro. All guts, no glory, Russ. We're ready to have a red hot crack, mate. As we said, it's one of them games you're playing for a lot more than yourself, and it's one of them fun games also. So I just can't wait to get out there and have a run. Can't believe footy's back, to be honest.
No, I hope you put on a show and we'll all be supporting you as brothers. So
Thanks, brother.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Stay tuned for next week.
Watch out for Redfern All Blacks.